Shwmai and welcome to another Up the Archer show with me, Lleucu Wyn.
I'm Griffin Leonard from the United States Ball State University in Indiana.
And before we go into talking a bit more about that, here's what's coming up on the programme. Yeah, as we saw there, a Ball State invasion today on this programme. And we can see we've covered the studio in all our different type of merch. I'm wearing a transatlantic storytelling t-shirt. Griffin, tell me, why are you joining me here today?
Yeah, well, I love the gear. I've got my Ball State red on as well, but it's been a great opportunity to be out here for transatlantic storytelling. We're partnering with you guys across the ocean to tell just a great collection of sports documentary stories. It's been amazing, and yeah, let's just kick off the show. To start things off, our reporter Cam Hitt caught up with one of Mets star players, the American Haley Saray.
I'm Haley Saray, and I'm from California.
And it's Saray. It's beautiful.
Haley, thank you so much for doing this. Really appreciate it. So you've been a part of the Cardiff Met family for about 3 months now. How's the journey been so far?
It's been a roller coaster for sure. I mean, it's been very up and down, but I'm just happy to be here, happy to get the experience and the exposure and be playing in a different country.
You obviously play alongside other Americans like Abigail Juncker. How helpful have they been in transitioning to Cardiff?
It's been great to have that support system. I mean, I have 3-4 Americans around me all the time, which is really fun because I feel like they understand how the journey's going so far. But it's also been nice to meet other people who obviously aren't from where I'm from, just to like see the culture and see how things are different here. People are just as nice as they are in San Diego. The weather is completely different. But overall, I mean, I think anywhere I go, I was going to be culture shocked a little bit. Yeah. But it's been nice to have that support system around me, like Steph. You know, she's taken really good care of me since I've been here, just like making sure I'm okay, checking in on me mentally. So that's been really fun. And then on the court, I mean, she just makes little notes that are really important to my game and little things that I can switch that'll really help me be successful on the floor. So that's been really helpful and fun.
Obviously, you and the girls play on 2 fronts. You play obviously WBBL professionally, but also play Bucks. What's it like going from very different standards, I'm sure?
Yeah, it's definitely, I feel like Bucks games, we can kind of go out there, have fun, try new things, work on things we need to work on for WBBL. But we do have some challenging games there as well. So I guess it's just nice to be able to like play for fun, essentially with Bucks, and like you're playing, having fun. Oh, maybe I'll throw this behind the back pass. But then in like WBBL, you really have to lock in. You get challenged offensively, defensively. Like you're constantly growing in the WBBL. So it's been a good experience to play for fun, but then also to like lock in and play very competitively.
You took part in your first clash on the court in October. It was a massive win for you and the girls. How was that experience, the whole day itself?
The whole day itself, I think, was really cool to see how they set up the arena, brought the bleachers out, and all the fans that came and supported. Not to mention, like, the broadcasting was incredible. Like, the zooming in when I was watching, like, the game back was really cool. So it was just nice to see, like, the effort that the university put into, like, building that and creating it. It was really cool.
Is there anything in particular so far in your time here that, you know, real good moment that sticks out to you?
Just getting to travel. I mean, I've got to see Ireland. I've got to go to Spain. We're going to Scotland this weekend. So it'll just be, it's nice to travel a little bit and see parts of the world that I haven't seen before. I've loved my time here. The people are great. The basketball is very different, but I think I'm growing and learning as a player and a person. So it's been a good experience.
Yeah, a brilliant feature there by Cameron Hitt. But carrying on with the basketball, joining us in the studio to give us an insight into the world of basketball in Ball State is our Ball State correspondent, Jack Ashby. Hiya, how are you doing? Thanks for joining
Doing well.
us.
How are you guys? I had to wear my Ball State red as well as Griffin.
Yeah,
so,
you know. I see a running theme here today. So I just wanted to ask you, how big is Ball State, is basketball over in Ball State? Because I don't think it's fully taken off here in Cardiff Met yet.
Well, I mean, basketball culture in Ball State is really just getting started. I mean, our Ball State women's basketball team is the best in its conference, and hopefully looking to make a run for March Madness, which is essentially our nationwide tournament within the NCAA, and they're looking to be a solid team so far in the MAC as well. But Ball State men's basketball, they brought on a new coach recently who's really driven basketball culture here in Muncie, Indiana, and he's done great things for the students, such as bringing free food and just bringing great atmosphere to campus. And Ball State's looking pretty good in Muncie.
In Indiana, in particular, Ball State, well, in basketball in general, kind of just seems to mean a little bit more. What have you seen? You're not from Indiana, you're from Illinois.
Yes.
What have you seen that kind of, I guess, culture change from Indiana to Illinois, and then from your experience in Wales so far, how have you seen that culture change as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with Illinois. I mean, basketball is huge in Illinois. Obviously, Chicago with the greatest basketball team in the history. Some may beg to differ, but basketball in Illinois is pretty huge, but in Indiana it's completely different. Basketball runs the state of Indiana with teams in the Indiana Pacers, Indiana Fever, as well as multiple college towns throughout the state. It really drives the whole culture there within Indiana, as well as high school basketball is entirely huge in the state of Indiana. Some of the biggest and most well-known basketball high school arenas are in Indiana, so the presence there is unbelievable. But coming to Cardiff, obviously basketball may not be as well known. It's rugby, it's cricket, different sports like that really drive the culture here. But I think with the NBA starting to run programs overseas for new athletes that are up and coming, like Steph Curry does campaigns in Japan and different countries out in Asia, and I think that those campaigns that some of these athletes make internationally will only help the culture here in Wales.
Now, you just mentioned that you've come over to Cardiff from the USA, obviously, but one of the reasons that you are over here is to film a few features and documentaries.
Absolutely.
So you've been focusing on Liam McKay. Tell me a little bit about him.
Yeah, I mean, Liam's a great person. He's really trying to build something special here in Wales and in Ely and the surrounding areas, but he's done a splendid job here in the surrounding areas of Wales of trying to build sport for underprivileged communities and youth, people that may need a second chance to get back on their feet, and using the power of sports to instruct these young students and athletes is something that's really powerful. And we just got back today from shooting, and it was a brilliant experience. We got to talk to different people around Ely about stuff that Liam's done with the community, and it's just astounding to see what work he's done.
Brilliant.
Well, thank you for that insight. I can't wait to see how that turns out, Jack. Now, I know you've been working on something a little bit on your end over at Cardiff Met.
Yeah, just bouncing around, going from different sports here on campus, and basketball was one of them, and I learned the hard way about how difficult it is as a sport. So we've got a little VT here of me giving the At Your Attempts a go. Hi, and welcome to another episode of At Your Attempts.
Today, Cardiff Met Women's Wands are taking on Durham in the National Championship quarter-finals.
Let's see if we can shoot some hoops like them.
Bruh. Today's challenge, layup.
Half court. Magic Matt, come on. Oh. Safe. Free throw. Oh.
Oh my God!
Yes, 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 yes. I think you need to up your game, mate.
We can edit it.
Low.
No, just edit it so it looks like it's going in.
Yeah. You don't need to do that with mine. Mine always go in. Yes! Oh! Damn right.
Say now if you don't want to do it.
Do you reckon any of the other boys would want to do it?
That was legitness.
I'm going to channel my inner Rory Delap.
Ooh. Okay.
Damn right. Yeah, the rugby, it might not be
Matt
on,
chatting up
'cause
the
it's
girls.
outdoors, yeah. No worries.
Can we get a close-up of Matt chatting up the
Cheers,
girls?
thank you. Bye. Game 7, 3 seconds left on the clock. Purdy from half court. I'm just going to take up netball.
That's how it's done. Yeah, as you can see there, basketball isn't the easiest sport, but I feel I got a few backward slam dunks there. I don't know if that's a terminology, but yeah. But you can keep updated with all the Archer attempts in this series. We've got a few more episodes coming out over the next few days, and one exciting one, we've got a Ball State versus Cardiff Met, so please keep your eye out for that. But we're going into volleyball now. Just wanted to ask you, have you given volleyball a go?
Not competitively. I've played it a little bit just to have a little bit of fun, but it's difficult. It's a lot harder than it looks. It's like just playing, somebody who's played basketball, played a little bit of baseball, I just didn't expect how difficult it was. So hats off to these guys. Have you ever played maybe a little bit of Archer attempts in volleyball?
We've had the chance to film the volleyball team over here at Cardiff Met and do a few promos, but I don't know, too many arms flying around the place, you know, hitting people in the face. It's just a bit too dangerous for me, I think.
Well, we'll talk about Ball State's team here in a little bit, but just to focus on Cardiff Met at the moment, the American Aaron Lenz plays for the Cardiff Met Archers, and Cardiff Met's very own reporter, Toby Hill, caught up with Lenz to see how the team is kicking off this season.
Thanks, Aaron, for joining me. Coming over from the States to Wales here, how have you found the change, and what have been the main differences?
I mean, obviously coming over from California, which is different kind of atmosphere, and then also the coming over and not knowing anybody, almost just coming out with this clean slate, was definitely a bit stressful at times. Having to go out of my way in every situation because there's no I guess sort of safe space where I can sort of go back to my little shell, or other than my room last year on student accommodation.
Is kind of like that teamwork really something that you feel like is important when you go into the matches?
One of the biggest factors of performance is momentum, and so being able to go in after every point and sort of just like have that 2-second, 3-second break of just being like, hey boys, come on, let's go.
What is it like that drives you? What is it that motivates you to really, make these choices and play as enthusiastically as you do?
I would say that I play with so much joy. Back home I played and I had to stop for 3 or 4 years because I had this lung issue where essentially my lungs pretty much collapsed, and I had to hang up the boots and sort of pause for a bit. And for some reason, I mean, absolute miracle that when I came over to the UK, to Cardiff, like somehow, maybe it's just the weather, something like that fresh air, it changed something, and I'm able to play now, and definitely to the level that I was before my issues happened. And I mean, yeah, all glory to God, man. I think that's like the biggest thing, is just my faith has definitely been I would say the driving factor, and has allowed me to be so joyful as I play. 1 Peter 2, 9 through 12, it's just it's a really uplifting verse, and it's just sort of saying that it's not through me. It's saying that, yeah, my identity is not of this world. My identity is not in volleyball. It's not if we win or lose. It's not if I get a good point or if I do well on my course. It's very much just imagine, like having some identity where it's not on myself as well. Just makes, I think it takes the pressure off and allows me to just do whatever I can to play as hard as I can, to be as supportive, as good as a friend, as good as a human, to be honest, as well. And I think that sort of spirit has definitely helped sort of shape my life and also be able to make myself as comfortable as I am.
Welcome back, and a big congratulations to the Cardiff Met women's volleyball team for winning the Bucks Western League in 2023. Now the Ball State women's volleyball team season may be complete. Let's take a look back at the hype video that SportsLink created to get fans ready for the season.
Kate Snyder firing on all cylinders. To Gilliland, and she gets the kill up the middle. Deflection, she gets the kill off a deflection. Back set right foot, cut shot off the slide for the kill. Snyder power alley swing for the kill.
Yeah, what an incredible promo video there from you guys at Ball State. But joining us now to give me a little insight about volleyball over in America is Andrew Willett. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So that promo there was absolutely action-packed. It must attract plenty of crowds. So how popular is the sport?
Oh my gosh, volleyball in Muncie, specifically the town of Muncie, is off the charts. It's growing as a sport in the state of Indiana, and really in the United States as well, but specifically in Muncie, from the high school levels, the youth levels, all the way up to Ball State University, volleyball is just huge, and we've been able to host some very, very good teams over the last few years, and historically, Ball State men's and women's volleyball has just done a really good job, so it's a really big part of the community in Muncie, Indiana.
And we'll be talking a bit later on as well about the entertainment factor in all your sports over in America, but do you have any entertainment elements in your volleyball games at all? Is there any cheerleading and stuff like that?
Volleyball
there's
games?
the 24-point little dance. when we have set point, it's a 1st to 25 every set for who gets the win. The whole crowd will stand up. They play a little song and everybody dances along. It's a good time. Maybe I get a little too into it, but
you'll have to bring that over to Cardiff Met. That sounds
yeah.
fun.
Do you get into the games a little bit too, Andrew?
Yeah, you know what? It's been a really cool experience, especially this year, to get into the games more than I ever have, just being around this men's volleyball team especially. But yeah, like Griffin was saying, the crowd is so invested in everything that's going on at Ball State volleyball games. He mentioned the 24-point. He's not alone. Everybody is doing that dance at match point, set point even, and like you said, a lot of other things going on, whether it is cheerleaders, but mostly it's our music. We've got some jam operations that set everything up for us, and just every highlight gets a reaction from the fans, a reaction from the PA announcer, and lots of music. It's a great environment.
So now everybody here at Ball State is here not only to have some fun, enjoy the culture, but of course to do a feature story. What story are you working on, and how has it been coming along?
Yeah, so it is me and Dalton Cox working on the feature for Jade Atkins, and her sister Adele Atkin. The Atkin sisters, we just had 4 interviews with them, and it is about their involvement in wheelchair basketball, and really it's a story about family, because those two went through a lot from the point where their disability started to affect them, and wheelchair basketball and their loved ones brought them through a dark space to bring them right here to right now, where Jade is right now vying for the Paris Olympics, and it's a lot of good stuff coming your way. We've had a lot of fun with them, and they've just been great to us, phenomenal access, and very lucky to come over here in general, but especially to tell this story.
Well, volleyball has one of the most passionate fan bases on the Ball State campus. Now, Cardiff Met Rugby, I would say, has the same thing over on this side of the Atlantic. Now, let's take a quick look at how the team's gone on this season with some of their top moments of the campaign.
And they're having fun now.
Nice
they're
little kick
playing.
and go.
Can he kick it again?
The crossfield pass.
Can Carrington get it?
He's in.
Carrington's in.
It's going to be a certain try.
Carrington. Joshua Carrington under the post for his second try of the game.
With a bit of pace, with a bit of time. Good offload. This is worked out for Cardiff Met. It's very unorthodox, but Steph Cribb's going to score.
Davis, lovely step. He's looking for support. Zheng's on his outside. Zheng has got it. Will Zheng get there? He will.
Yes.
What a score from Cardiff Met.
Oh, intercepted. Here we go. It's a foot race. You've got to back yourself from here. The man outside is Steph Davis. He's not quite quick enough to get there. Oh, but he is. He's got the pace. He's got the step. And Cardiff Met are under the posts.
One last chance now at this game as the clock is in the red. Now Captain Ewan Guy sees the ball. Captain Ewan Guy sees the ball. It's a try for Captain Ewan Guy. Captain fantastic. The line has never been better. You're at King Croyd.
And now we see Roma Zheng down the wing. Roma Zheng away from his man. And Roma Zheng over the try line. He is inevitable.
Yeah, that was our rugby best moments there from our student here, Cardiff Met, Rhys David. Sorry, but yeah, you don't know a whole lot about rugby, do you? Because it's not a very popular sport over in America.
Yeah, I can't say that I really do. I grew up watching American football. I grew up watching basketball, baseball, even a little bit of soccer, or you call it football here. But rugby, yeah, you couldn't get me to tell you much about it. But I will say, color me intrigued. It sounds like we'll be broadcasting this match tomorrow. Should be a fun time. I've heard the teams are pretty impressive, but Buck Super Wednesday sounds like it's
massive.
a pretty good experience.
It's a big deal over here, yeah. We've got a massive amount of fans that go and rush and watch the rugby games here. We've actually got another game between Cardiff Met and Leeds Beckett tomorrow at 6 o'clock. We'll be streaming that, so make sure you tune in. And make sure that you're there, because you need to have this experience.
Yeah, I hope I can be. If I can't, then I think there's a Wales U20 match the night after that at the Arms Park.
Thursday, yeah.
And that seems like a pretty good experience. But if you can't tell already, it's been an American takeover here on Up the Archer, and staying with that theme and staying with rugby, here's another feature from Rhys Davis on the popular rugby player Porter Goodrum.
My name is Porter Goodrum. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I play for Cardiff Met RFC.
Porter Goodrum, a man who's got everything. Pace, power, passion.
So Porter, obviously, we've got a skate park behind us.
Yeah.
Do you want to let us know, firstly, just why we're here and your background in skateboarding?
Well, I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I'd say I've been skateboarding for 9-ish years on and off. I remember my first training session at Cardiff Met. I actually skateboarded home from it back into the city at the hotel I was staying at. So that was pretty interesting. But no, I love skateboarding. It's always been a part of my life for quite a long time.
So what kind of teams did you play for in the States, and then how did you transition then from that to Cardiff Met?
Yeah, so playing back in the States was pretty interesting. It's a very niche sport back there. So U19 rugby is when I really started to take rugby serious. Played for my home club, the Charlotte Tigers. A lot of love for them. They're a great club. And I got hooked up with Eagle Impact Rugby Academy, where I went on tours to Canada, Ireland, Spain, really got to see the world and see what rugby was as a game internationally, which was great. And so when I was doing that, I met a man named Di Morgan, who came to one of my training sessions back in Charlotte, and I just talked to him and expressed to him that I was pretty interested in coming over here to Wales and how I really wanted to take my rugby to the next level. And then since then, just never looked back, really. He hooked me up with all the coaches over here at Met and just fell in love with it.
Made your Bucks Super Rugby debut this year as well,
Yes.
against Exeter. I think EC was the co-commentator on that one.
He's a great player, and he's really worked his way up in at Cardiff Met. I think he started on the 4s or 5s, and to see him now on Super Bucks is a proud moment.
It was very eye-opening, 100%. I've seen pretty much every Bucks Super Rugby game since I've been at Cardiff Met, and to actually be on the field, to get supported by the ultras, have them cheering for you, especially against a team like Exeter, was very tough, just because of how good of a side they were, but it was so eye-opening. I loved every moment of it.
And your first try followed on a few games later against Swansea. How was that to cross that white line?
That was massive. I was so excited for that. I actually scored my first try for Cardiff Met against Swansea in my first year, so getting my first BSR try against them was unreal.
Obviously, you're still fighting on two fronts. You're fighting at the top of the WRU Championship, and you're still going for top 4 in the Bucks Super Rugby League. Is that the aim now, to make this season a winning season for Cardiff Met?
Yeah, 100%. I think every weekend we talk about it for the championship side. We really would like to win the league, which would be a massive statement from Cardiff Met heading into this new premiership that they're developing next year. And then obviously to leave that legacy of winning the league for the last year of the championship would be unreal, as something to leave Cardiff Met on. But then in terms of the BSR, I think we really want to secure that home quarterfinal, which would be massive for the boys, massive for the support. So if we could do those two things, I think that would be great for the club. And then obviously secure that home quarterfinal and then keep pushing till we make it to the final, which would be just the best.
Yeah, joining us in the studio now is the creator of that really cool feature, Rhys Dafydd. How was that?
Thank you for having me.
What an experience to get to have a chat with Porter. How was it?
Yeah, it was an incredible experience. We went down to Tradition, headed down there, and yeah, filmed it. Didn't really know how good he was at skateboarding until we got there, and he instantly did some kickflip thing that I'd never seen before. So yeah, it was really good and worked really well.
I heard it's your first time on Up the Archer, mine as well, so good job there, mate. But as you look at the feature, looking back on it as we watched it during the break, just I guess kind of reflect, like, how was it going about making that piece, and do you want to do another men's rugby piece at some point down the future?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I really wanted to do a men's rugby player. So I had a few ideas with sort of the characters within the team and who I wanted to do. And then Porter, obviously, he's American, and I knew he'd had sort of big brash hair at some points, and he's a bit of a character. So I knew he would come out well. And then sort of over the course of about a month, I had compiled a lot of footage I'd shot of him. So I knew that that would be good for painting the interview. And then, yeah, it just worked really well and came out I'm really happy with the final product.
In Cardiff Met, he's known for his rugby, but you chose to focus on his skateboarding and other elements. Why? Why is the question? Why not go for the obvious? Why change?
Well, I think it's important as storytellers that we tell people, we show people as they whole. And obviously, he's a very good rugby player, but equally he's a very good sportsman. His brother's actually a professional footballer, so I knew he's multi-talented. And then I was speaking with EC, and she mentioned that he's really into skateboarding. So I thought, hang on, we got something here. So then I asked him, do you want to fancy shooting in a skate park? And he was, yeah, really keen for it, and yeah.
Well, I know that the humanization of athletes is so important, and I know that's something we stress in SportsLink as well. You mentioned her, EC Cantrell. That's another project that you're working on. How was that compared to the Porter story? What similarities, what differences do you experience?
Yeah, so I'm working with the Ball State guys, with you guys, telling the American House EC Cantrell story. And yeah, that's been a really good experience so far. So we were shooting today in her house, and yeah, just seeing the way you guys work and just the quality that you guys operate at is yeah, a real privilege to be there, and a real privilege to get insight into how you guys do your stuff and how you make people feel relaxed and get good shots and all of that as well. It was a really good experience.
What can we expect from that project?
I think you can expect it to be, firstly, it'll look really good.
Well, I'd hope so.
Yeah, and no, I think it's going to be a pretty upbeat piece, and I think it's going to really show that Cardiff Met is a place for Americans, and also how that house in particular has cultivated their own community within a wider Cardiff Met rugby system.
Well, from one American rugby player to another, we gave women's captain E.C. Cantrell a mic earlier in the campaign to get an in-depth look at how training is for the women's team. Let's see how that went.
My name's E.C. Cantrell, and this is Mic'd Up. From me, girls, the preparation for the games start tonight. They don't start on Wednesday or when we get to the pitch, 2s and 1s players. You need to think about the game now, think about the plays, do whatever you need to do, relax tomorrow, stay hydrated, do what we need to do to get ready for the game, okay? Nice. Inside, inside, inside. Yay. Happy? Yeah. Okay, lovely. Okay. Hold, soft. Yep, yours, yours, yours. Yeah, that's mine, that's mine, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's me. I got. Sexy. Yeah, me. Ah! Where's Nia?
I don't know.
I haven't seen her. Is that Nia?
No, that's Katie Bears.
Oh. Yeah. Everyone say hello.
Yo. What did the cheese say to herself in the mirror?
What?
Yeah, it is.
No, it's hello. No.
Hello, me.
Let's go. Come on. It's like Mario Kart. Head. Okay. Oh, it's this drill. Jeez. Find me. Give. I'm hot. Die. Matt.
Mic'd Up, such an engaging and immersive format of video content, and we're now joined by Mr. Cam Hitt, who you produced the piece. And have you done that sort of format before? How was it getting along? What challenges did you face?
I think obviously helped myself and Reese, who was just on the show, helped produce that one with EC. But yeah, I think with her we were very careful because of how high contact it is. But I've also done one with another course mate, Will, on Dan Flaherty, one of our American basketball players, and it went really well. I mean, it's slightly easier with basketball, and obviously, you know, he's quite talkative. It's like you mentioned earlier, it really is about personalising these athletes and showing their human side, you know.
And Mic'd Up, that idea originated within the NFL, but why do you think it's become so popular over here?
I think it is that. It's that sort of, you know, people want the athletes and these people they aspire to be, they want to see their personalities and they want to see, you know, them shine through. And I think there's no better way to encapsulate someone than how, you know, how they are when they're doing their job, you know. So it's, you know, it's great to see.
Yeah, we touched on this when we did a few podcasts the other day as a part of our Met Ball podcast that's coming out this week. So we touched upon being able to personalise and humanise these athletes, but how important is it? How important is that change in the development of sports, getting to know the players on a personal level?
Yeah, I think it is. I think especially at high-level sport now, because there's so much money involved and there is so much risk involved, we are quite keen to sort of view them as assets, and I think it's important, and especially seeing it working, you know, with student athletes, that, you know, they are real people and they are sort of, you know, they do have the problems we all have. So I think, yeah, showing a more human, maybe a slightly more fragile side is important, I think.
Mm-hmm. Now, onto more pressing matters. You're also here as our Met correspondent.
And indeed.
Talk to me a little bit about what's going on around campus.
Yeah, it's been a big week for Met sport. Obviously, we've got Bucks Wednesday tomorrow, so, you know, that's exciting. But yeah, on the weekend, huge day, Celtic Challenge, Brighton Thunder, Gwache Lightning. And yeah, as we can see now, Sinead Harries, Met alum, scored a last-minute drop goal in her final game. Absolutely amazing. You know, you've seen the scenes there. A couple of Met girls as well, Sarah Singleton, Amy Williams, you know, playing for the side. You know, the Celtic Challenge has really just provided a great platform for women's rugby players to, you know, show off their skills in a club format. We had, you know, girls there for Brighton Thunder like Sarah and Amy, but also on the opposition team, you had Molly Reardon, Maisie Davis, who have, you know, been so good for the women's rugby side this season. So yeah, that was, you know, a really, really good day by the looks.
Exciting times for women's rugby then, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially, you know, Met related, we've got the Women's Six Nations at the end of the month. We'll have, you know, the captain, Claky George, former Met student, and I think Molly Reardon and Maisie Davis, who I mentioned, who've been playing all year for Bucks, are in the preliminary squad. So, yeah, really exciting for Met and women's rugby in general.
Brilliant.
What excites you about the Super Wednesday tomorrow, the opportunity to do not just one, but two different sports in the span of an afternoon?
It terrifies me, Griffin. No. It's exciting. It is really exciting. I mean, that's the thing. Is sort of, as you know, I'm sure you can relate. As sports fans, you sort of, you know, football's my sport, but I sort of really have this year been able to sort of get into all things. You know, understand rugby more, like say basketball. You know, even volleyball, like you mentioned. These sports that you'd never get to experience, and to broadcast them, and you learn a bit about broadcasting, but also about the sport itself. So yeah, it's really exciting.
You were also at the indoor athletics over the weekend. Were there any Met involvement in that?
Yeah, well, the winner of the pole vault was Molly Caudry from Scotland, but her mother was a Met student. So yeah, a little bit of a Met link there.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Yeah, we'll get rid of that. And Hannah Breyer as well, who was in the 4x100 relay. She was a reserve, but that team did win bronze. They had a really good weekend. And it was, I think, a great event. Britain, I think, had 2 or 3 medals overall and some vague Met involvements in them all. So yeah, pretty exciting.
Brilliant. Anything to look forward to going forward?
Yeah, obviously we've got the Wales Sea announcement tomorrow, which is always a big moment for Met. We've seen athletes like Will Evans, who's obviously gone to play for Newport now and really thrive at the Football League, in the English Football League. He came from Wales Sea. You know, that's where he really sort of found his feet, and you know, the scouts really did start to notice him. So yeah, that announcement will be tomorrow. We're expecting, hopefully, a couple of Met players, maybe CJ Craven, Emlyn Lewis. So yeah, exciting time.
Well, there's so much to look forward to in both the Cardiff Met and the Ball State scene. Thank you so much for coming on to join us.
No problem.
Cam. Now we're moving on to Ball State's, maybe not one of their favorite sports, but certainly one of America's most popular, and that's American football. Let's take a look at the intro video for this team's 2023 season.
Back home again in Indiana, and it seems that I can see
Welcome back. That was the 2023 Ball State football intro video. American football, so big in the United States. I know you guys don't necessarily have it as much around here, but it's a pretty big deal back where we're from. Joining me is another huge football fan, Mr. Jordan Climbs. Thank you so much, Jordan. You know, we share a house. We watch a lot of football on Sundays, watch a lot of football on Saturdays, pretty much any day of the week that it's on. What about it just captivates you?
Man, I mean, when you come here, you kind of see how everyone's so involved in the rugby culture and how you kind of just grow up around it. And it's a sport where everyone really cares about, and it's always there, like I said. And I think football, or I should say American football, I don't know what we're calling it right now, but I think American football in America is something where it's a culture thing and everyone's around it. As you said, it's always on TV. The Super Bowl is huge whenever we have it. And so I think it's something where it's not just people love the sport, but I think they just love the whole lifestyle that it brings with it.
Was it originally like that? Has it grown like at an immense pace over the last few years, or has it always been the entertainment factor is really theatrical?
I think American football is always growing. I don't think it's exploded over the past couple of years, but I think it's always been at a good height. I think something fun to mention is with the Taylor Swift stuff and Travis Kelce.
Yeah, that's what got me involved.
Exactly. So we're getting new fans into it, and so there's like I said, it's kind of a lifestyle, and more people are kind of jumping into that and seeing that there is more happening within it. And of course, I'll keep my opinions about Taylor out, although I am a fan of Taylor Swift. So
good to cover yourself there.
Yeah, exactly.
Bringing a Wales type of link to it then, we've got a rugby player here, former rugby player I should say now, Louis Rees-Zammit, who's ventured over to the USA to try and make it big over in America. But what do you think are the prospects are like for him? I mean, it must be such a competitive sport if it's so big, but What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a very competitive sport, and of course, there's a lot of American players who are trying to play and compete in it. It's such an interesting situation, and we've seen rugby players play in American football before. A big one is Jordan Mailata, who played on the Eagles. So that's like one of the biggest stories that's come out, and now with Wales and one of the Welsh players going, it's a cool thing to kind of watch that all go down. So it's going to be an interesting process. As I said, there's a lot of American players who are all fighting for it and maybe have grown up playing this game besides another one, but I think, he's a physical guy, and he's got to learn new skill sets, I think, a little bit, but you got to adjust. And if you're playing, I'm not sure what side of the ball he's playing on, defensively or offensively, but I think if you bring that aggression and you go out there and give it your all, I think there's a true shot that it could happen.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, there's a lot of international NFL players, but I think depending on the position, you're right. And as far as I know, Reece Emmett, he's looking to go into a skill position. And we see a lot of punters, a lot of kickers that can succeed because the skills translate very easily over. He may be athletic, but does he understand football at a high enough level? I think that's an interesting talking point.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, and it depends what position you're playing, right? Because when you're thinking about American football IQ, it's very different for a punter as opposed to a quarterback, right? And so I'm not sure if he's going to go on to be a kicker or a punter in this situation, then, well, he's got a true shot at it. If you can kick a ball, then you can kick a ball and get in the field and win a game for your team, right? But even then, there's some aggressiveness that has to come with it, and who knows, maybe he'll try to switch positions as well. We'll see how that all goes down, but it's just such a fun story to watch.
Yeah, I'm quite excited to see where he goes. I mean, it seems like he's doing quite well, but yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, well, now college football is such an interesting phenomenon to people out here because university sport, there'll be 600, 700, 800 people at a match, but you look at Michigan, 100,000 seat stadium that is full on game days, especially when they're the national champions. What do you think about Ball State football? Obviously, it doesn't necessarily have the same magnitude as some of those Power 5 teams, but what's your take on university sport compared to what you've noticed so far here in Cardiff?
Well, it's so interesting, and I'm prepping for a football game, I should say soccer football, tomorrow, or I should say match tomorrow. And so I was talking about it and hearing about the system here in the universities, and it's so crazy how, it's kind of, I guess, less put together in a way because of everything in American football, is specifically with college football, is so structured where you have a specific schedule, you stick to it, and here it's like you come here and if Americans are coming, they want to see a rugby game, it's like, oh sure, we'll switch our game to that Wednesday, right? But I think specifically with Ball State, it's a very interesting culture, and I think we've had a coach there for a while that knows what he's doing. I think the players are bought in, and Muncie, where Ball State is, it's a very small community. But the people who are there, they love the game. They love, of course, basketball. That's a big one, right? Volleyball. But football is right there with it. And so nothing like a good Saturday night. And also the tailgating in Muncie. I mean, it's a great time.
Now, it seems that it's a massive university American football, that is. But I'm not sure if you mentioned to me before the programme that you don't have a university women's football team. Is that true? Did I understand that right?
That is true. We do not have a university women's football team, and a lot of that comes down to Title IX, which is a conversation that's too long just to fully explain that to somebody who's not familiar with it.
Do they want a football team?
Honestly, I guess you'd have to ask the students, but I certainly wouldn't mind watching. I know.
I mean, you like watching any sport ever.
Any sport. But there's no American football team at all, men's or women's, here at Cardiff Met. But Cardiff Met reporter Will Stevens went down to the viewing party at 3 a.m. for the Super Bowl.
We do for sports.
That was covered at the SU. Yeah, I mean, I've done that for some sports. So I can't necessarily call them out. Yeah, this week indeed for Purdue, but and Ball State. But let's take a look at the SU and how that got on for the 3 a.m. Super Bowl out here in Wales.
Hello, I'm at the Cardiff Met SU, and we're here for the final of the Super Bowl. Let's see who wins. We're joined here by
Alex Blank, Lucas.
My name's Izzy.
Hayden Noyes.
Charlie King.
Toby Cross.
Kaya. Maisie.
How you finding the game so far?
Very good so far. I'm just hoping the 49ers can pull through.
Exact same here, mate, but I can't lie, this is my second Super Bowl I've watched, I still ain't got a clue. It's pretty interesting, yeah?
Been pretty good. I'd like to see a bit more offense in the second half, but it's been good so far.
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, both defenses have been
incredible. They both worked their asses off. But I mean, you saw some of the plays that Mahomes has made, and I think we need more of that in the second half.
It's been a bit boring.
And who are you both supporting?
49ers. 49ers.
I'm kind of rooting for the Chiefs, so it's going pretty honestly.
Well, I think 49ers for the underdog story, purely because Mahomes has won it quite a few times now.
Kansas City.
I want Brock Purdy to win a Super Bowl, to be honest. I think the Chiefs have won enough, and the 49ers do deserve to win one.
At this point, I think it's going to be 21 49ers, 14 Chiefs.
Carlisle, I don't want to see Taylor Swift win.
Just not a fan of it, the whole Taylor Swift thing.
Yeah, same reason I don't like the Swifties.
Do you follow the NFL at all?
I follow Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Usher, halftime show. What do you think the first song's going to be?
I couldn't even name you an Usher song.
I don't know.
I'm thinking, oh my god. That's my guess.
Yeah, everyone's going to say that, aren't they? But I don't know.
I have no clue, to be fair.
You don't know any Usher songs?
It'll be a good show. He's a good singer.
Do you think it was a good idea to put Usher in there?
Yeah, defo.
But you don't know any of his songs?
I know his songs, but I don't know the names. So I don't know what they're called.
But you're hoping for one that you know?
Yeah, hopefully.
We've heard rumours of a Justin Bieber walkout.
I'll take Justin Bieber.
You would say that?
Baby, tune.
He needs to bring out Justin Bieber.
I'm hoping for some Justin Bieber at the halftime.
I do love a bit of JB.
I like JB.
If Justin Bieber came out, what songs would you like him to sing?
Baby by Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be up at 3 a.m. watching sport, if I'm honest. So
Hey,
fair play to everybody
speak
who
for
turned
yourself.
out. Yeah, well, yeah. But joining us now to talk a bit more about entertainment in American football and America in general in sports is Justin Floor. Hiya.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good. What do you think the value of entertainment in American sports is? What's the appeal?
Well, I think sports and entertainment go hand in hand, right? I mean, I think that you can't have sports without entertainment. I don't think you can have entertainment without sports on the grander scheme of things. And really, you know, I think what it comes down to at the end of the day is what's going to make your money. I think that sports are always enhanced by entertainment, whether that's halftime, whether that's a concert, whether that's something, a promotional material, right? I've worked in sports entertainment marketing before. Those kind of things are huge. Anytime you can get a sponsorship activation there, that's going to be the thing that's going to get you from something that's a good product to a great product, and that's going to get butts and seats, for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, when it comes to entertainment, right, sports are a huge market for that. You're going to get so many people in one venue at one time, and that's just a good way to do it.
Mm-hmm. And we saw from that VT there, Usher was performing during the halftime show.
Yeah.
Your opinions on Usher and that halftime show? Controversial?
I mean, personally, I'm not a huge Usher guy normally. I enjoyed the halftime show.
Your favorite so far?
No, it was fine. No, it's fine. Look, I mean, it's Vegas, right? You're gonna expect it to be like that. That was tame for Vegas. They could have gone crazy. So, you know, I think you think about it, and the market has a lot to do with it. So I think it's easier to get someone in a place like Vegas than maybe a place like Minneapolis to go do a Super Bowl halftime show. But I really think at the end of the day, it's the Super Bowl. You know, you're going to get an artist that probably has some big hits. Now, the whole payment thing is a whole other can of worms I'm not going to get into, but that's a whole, who decides does that. It's a lot. So.
Now you briefly brought up Las Vegas. It's been the entertainment capital of the world for a long time. More recently, though, the sports world has really been tapping into it. NHL expansion team, NFL relocation, same thing potentially going to happen with baseball. More recently, the Super Bowl, as you mentioned, and then Formula One. What do you think the value of having those big market, big ticket events in Vegas to try to draw in more of maybe less of the diehard sports crowd and more of the casual entertainment crowd?
Yeah, well, I think that sports always has something to do with entertainment, like I said. And in a big market like that, you're just going to get people. There are going to be people that are already in Vegas regardless. I think that helps out the case of all Vegas sports teams. I don't know if necessarily going to have the diehard fans of any event. I don't know if it's going to be something like that. But I think for Formula One that works because Formula One attenders are a lot of elites a lot of times because those tickets are so expensive. So I think that works out actually. But the whole entertainment thing in Vegas goes to residencies in Vegas. It goes back to Elvis Presley having residency in Vegas. All these different things in terms of the way Las Vegas works, which is people are going to go to the casino, they're going to blow a lot of money, and they're going to go and see some shows, and they want to be entertained while they're there. Like you said, entertainment capital of the world, adding sports to it, it's a match made in heaven. And I'm sure the Raiders and whatever team moves there will be very happy with the profit margins that they get from their move.
Now, you mentioned earlier you might be going to the under-20s game. You won't be seeing that type of entertainment at halftime, but do you think that's something that we should adopt over here?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that there's a use for it, right? It's on what you want to use to fill that fan experience. I worked for a team this summer in Minot, North Dakota, that a little summer league baseball team that basically said that their goal was for their fans not to remember the score of the game. They wanted to go and just have the best time possible, entertainment on the field, be like, wow, I don't remember the score of the game, but man, that was fun.
On Friday, as part of our trip, we went down to the Cardiff Devils, down in the Cardiff Bay. What was your reaction to that? I'm sure you've been to NHL games over the course of your life, but nothing quite like Welsh hockey, huh?
That is unbelievable atmosphere. Those fans care a ton, and that's something that I think you just can't get a lot of places, especially with minor league sports. You know what I mean? It's different. And in towns that don't necessarily have their teams, they care. That's why Buffalo Bills fans are some of the best in sports. They care about the Buffalo Bills, right? They don't have a ton up there. They root for a lot of Toronto teams because of that. But, when you have these smaller markets, those teams really, really go crazy. And I think that's always a good thing.
Well, each team has their own set of traditions. Some may be more extravagant, some may be more subtle. But we've talked about college football on the show. Michigan football, 100,000-seat stadium. They put on a show. Here's just to take a look. Here's a bit of a look at what Michigan football does for some Welsh fans that might not be as accustomed to college football on Saturdays. Never quite been up to Ann Arbor, Michigan. I'm sure you haven't, but it looks like quite the experience. And now joining us, Mr. Charlie Maurer, the Ball State correspondent for this afternoon show. Thank you for joining us, Charlie. I heard you're here to talk about some Ball State sports.
I'm going to try. Apologies for my informalness. It was a bad hair day, so I had to wear the hat. But no, I got some cool...
It's a WIU one, so it's fine.
It is, right? I love that. It's a great style. Obviously got the transatlantic storytelling shirt going on, as many people you saw Tristan have it on before. But yeah, I'm going to hopefully talk some Ball State sports, Ball State women's basketball. But yeah, thank you for having me on.
Well, you just brought up Ball State women's basketball. We talked about basketball early on the show. They have a huge game tomorrow night. If you're watching Super Wednesday and you have access to ESPN in the United States, turn that game on right after. Ball State women's basketball taking on the Kent State Golden Flashes on national TV, ESPNU. I bet you're excited, Charlie.
Yeah, absolutely. The time difference is a little bit trickier now that we're in Wales compared to America, or at least in Muncie, Indiana, that is. But no, Ball State women's basketball, for those who do not know, has had a fantastic year. Another 20-win season back-to-back now for the Cardinals. And they're looking to make a push for their conference championship coming up here in just, I believe 10 days, something like that. And part of the trip as well, who's on the trip for Ball State, right, in SportsLink, Dominic Liacani, he's the voice of Ball State women's basketball. He's headed to Cleveland, Ohio, where the tournament is. And again, Ball State women's basketball has had a fantastic year. A big game against Kent State coming up here, as you said, tomorrow. And then they finish off the season at Buffalo for the final game of the regular year. But, I mean, if you love women's basketball, and it feels like it's been such a hot topic when it comes to Caitlin Clark, especially right at Iowa women's basketball. But the sport is growing every single year at every level, at the Power 5 level where Caitlin Clark is playing at, and even at the Ball State level as well, where it's maybe a mid-major, maybe not a household name. But the Cardinals are a fantastic team, and they're going to make a push, right, for their conference tournament and make it into the national tournament, which would be huge news for all Ball State fans.
So you mentioned there that there's a massive growth happening on every level over at Ball State, but what can we at Cardiff Met adopt in order so that we can try and do the same here?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think, it takes investment, and I think it takes someone like a Caitlin Clark, or at least players at that level who can draw and attract a crowd. Because you look at what Caitlin Clark is doing, and the only comparison that you have is like Stephen Curry when it comes to the basketball world, and we know his impact, and we know what he has done at the NBA level. So I think, yes, the talent has something to do with kind of the entertainment and the aspect of growing a sport like that, and women's sports in general. But listen, the talent is obviously there. There are so many talented women in sports around the world, and specifically in the college basketball era as well. But when it comes to over here in Wales, I think, yes, it takes a little bit more investment, maybe on the financial side. And when you have more players in the game that can be role models to some of the younger generations, you're going to get more people invested in the game and are going to want to play, especially at that level.
Well, on the transatlantic storytelling side of things, you've gotten the opportunity to be working on stories in both men's and women's sport. Could you kind of just tell us about those projects, how they're coming along, and how rewarding it's been to be able to be on this trip?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic to be a part of this project. Actually just got done with an interview with, I can't pronounce your last name, Funmi. I'm so sorry. Please don't be mad at me. But Funmi is her name. She trained here at Cardiff Metropolitan University. She is a shot put thrower, and her story is absolutely incredible. It's one of many that we are trying to tell, right, that we are in the process of telling while being here at Cardiff, Wales. Second trip, obviously, for the Ball State students to Cardiff. Hopefully get the Cardiff Met students to Muncie, Indiana at some point in the near future. But to be able to come here and meet new athletes and new people, and for them to be so inviting and so open to the idea of letting Americans tell their story, right, or at least be a part of that process, I think is a testament to all of their characters. And I mean, you hear people talking about it all the time, but these stories are fantastic, and you're going to want to watch. And I just hope that we put on a good show and hopefully, produce it at a level that they enjoy as well.
You're here to do some features, but you're here as well to enjoy your time here at Cardiff and in Wales. But how have you found your time here?
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah?
I really do. I think it's an awesome place to live. I think it amazes me that you have like the city center, right? That you have everything you need. You have pubs, you have restaurants, you have all the malls, shopping areas. But a mile away, maybe not even, you still have like residential areas. You have like almost these little cute neighborhoods and villages around where you could absolutely raise a family, and it's a slower life, but it's only 5-10 minutes away from the city center. And I feel like you don't get that a lot in a lot of major American cities, and for it to be the capital of Wales as well is a really, really cool experience. The passion for the sport, rugby, football, obviously, or soccer as we say in America, but the passion that you have for sports, or even like a sport like ice hockey. You talked about it with Tristan with the Devils game. I mean, bringing in the flags and the microphones and the drums and being a part, it feels like you're a part of the sport is certainly different, I feel like, to a lot of American sports, right? Participating and being part of the crowd back in the States. So I definitely love the sport culture, and the city itself is breathtaking. We went to the Gower Peninsula a couple of days ago, just, what is it, hour away, hour bus ride, hour car ride, whatever it is. And so it really is kind of everything that you might need in your life. It's all right there. So yeah, I'm absolutely loving my time.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's been such a great experience. It's a bit of a different feel from Muncie, where everything's kind of there with the university, but Cardiff so compact in the city center, and it spreads out, it blossoms. And it has been absolutely great. But turning back over to Muncie, the men's volleyball team, midway through their conference schedule right now, one of the most prestigious and historical teams at Ball State University. Let's take a look at the Ball State men's volleyball promo video for this year, produced by the creative storytellers at Ball State SportsLink.
Great atmosphere here in Worthing Arena. Muncie, Indiana, the volleyball capital of the world.
Sheva skywalking to get that one.
That's textbook right there.
Too hot to handle. for the kill. Throw for David Ocheva.
All right, folks, we're wrapping up the show, but we got a fun little segment. Send it over to you. What have you got for us?
Yeah.
So I want to test your knowledge of US versus UK slang since you're coming over here. So we're going to do Claykey versus Griffin. I'm going to give you 5 terms each, and whoever gets the most right wins. So Claykey, we're going to do your 5 first.
Yeah.
See how many you can get right.
Okay.
So your first one is popo. Tell me what that means.
Police. Yeah.
She got it. Yeah. She got it. So she's won. She's won. Pop.
What, as in Coke? As in...
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a lot better than I'm going to do, by the way.
We've got Gucci.
As in the brand, or it can mean you're good. You feel good, as in you're good.
I've got it down as trendy here. I might have to not give you that point, I'm sorry.
We'll see how well I do. Maybe
yeah, give it back. And whack.
That's cool. That's whack. Or it means like it's not cool. I'm going to go for it's not cool.
That is correct.
Yes,
that is not cool.
yes.
I've literally got not cool written down. Beautiful. And the last one, throwing shade.
If you're being like salty. As in, like, if you're being, like you don't really like someone, but you're a subtle hint that you don't like someone.
Yeah, I think
I don't know why I looked at you when I was doing that.
Good. You know, we gotta get her like a work visa or something. Like, she's already ready.
Come over.
Like, give her the citizenship test. Like, we're good.
So yeah, you got 4 out of 5.
Yes.
So you did pretty well. Okay, Griffin, we're gonna come to you.
All right.
Hammered.
That's gotta be like you're exhausted. You're drunk. You know, you're beat. You know.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Very drunk, but yeah, we'll give you that. A quid.
It's like cash. It's another name for money.
How many? How many would be a quid?
One.
What number? Yes,
One
that
quid.
is right. That is correct.
You helped him.
I didn't help. I will not accept that. Wind up.
Is it just kind of like messing with somebody? Like you're giving them a hard time?
Yeah, teasing. Yeah. So you're 3 for 3 right now.
I'll take it.
Yonks.
What is it?
Yonks.
Yonks. Oh gosh.
I feel like if I use
Can I phone a friend here?
I'll use it in a sentence. Like, I haven't seen you in yonks.
Let's go with a long time.
Not a long time. I did help you, but you are 4-4. And leg it.
What is it?
Leg it.
Leg it. The only thing I can think of is like really like going for a long run or something.
Oh, yeah.
No,
okay, no, it's
I will not allow that.
It's the runaway. If you legged it, you ran away.
Okay,
you got out of there. We both got 4, and I don't have any more terms, so
we'll just
you
do rock,
both
paper,
draw.
scissors.
Yeah, sure.
All right, this is for all the marbles.
Right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yes!
No!
Come on! Come on!
Well done.
The trophy remains at Cardiff Met.
It's the home field advantage, is what it is. Well, we have such an exciting show for you tomorrow. We're going to run this back up the Archer tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m.
At 3 p.m., yeah.
Football at 4, rugby at 6. But this has been just an absolute blast. And don't forget about International Women's Day,
don't forget about us.
But for Claykey Wynn and Griffin Leonard, it has been a blast. Thank you so much for tuning in to Up the Archer, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Diolch. Hello and welcome to another episode of Archer Attempts.
This week, we're taking a go at Owen Cudahy's sensational strike that put Met through to the National Trophy final.
Let's see how we get on.
Challenge! Like Claykey, finishing first time!
Oh no!
Strike!
Oh no!
Strike
oh
it! No! Hit it! Michael Jackson! Oh no!
And then he goes like this. And then he goes...
Yes, no! Yeah! Cuddy!
I got to stay down. He's never going to get there.
It's not bad. Touch isn't bad either.
Tove! Where's Tove? Come on, Toby, this is your time. You're on. You're on. Come on, come on.
Go Winterson. Toby Hill, Post correspondent. It's gone. Oh, it's bounced.
Finish. Oh.
Ah.
Yeah? Finish?
Oh. Yeah.
Good. Right. Go on.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Not quite where we want it.
Oh. What the dangerous, I'm not having that. Not a bad ball. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. I'll go for it anyway.
Oh, finish.
Not quite the right one though. Why is it so hard?
Where's it going wrong?
I'm scared of the ball when it approaches me. Get under the ball, you know, like you've got to go through the ball. It's harder than it looks, isn't it, Sophie?
Vicky, you have seen the goal, right?
It's like the post. It's like the beans on toast.
Got these boots, got them from Derby Sports Direct in 2020. I haven't got that many misses.
Wait, you've got this one. This is your time.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Come on, it's getting to muscle memory now. Let's go.
It's not good enough. How long have I been here now?
So it turns out that was quite difficult. That was an archer's fail.
Yeah, it's quite a good strike, that, to be fair to him.
Yeah, fair play. I'd like to just say a quick thank you to Broadcast Ballers for helping out. Yeah, that's them.
Cardiff Met 2s. We'll see you in the final.